All right, we are on. Welcome to the show. I've got two local Tampa entrepreneurs and killers, Ben and Ricky of Szentpaly,
Szentpaly.
Szentpaly Marketing. And on this episode, I wanted to poke into your brains and figure out how to land some whales. We've landed a few of our time, but some names listed on your website, some of these massive Goliath clients that you guys represent. Lamborghini, Aston Martin, Marriott. I mean, these are household names. And a lot of people starting off in business can't even imagine what goes in to building up the credibility and being able to attract whales like this. So that's where I want to go. But before we get there, let's talk a little bit about you guys. How did you guys get into business together? And tell me a little bit about what you do.
Absolutely.
Ben, you want to start that first?
All right. Yeah, for sure. How do we get into business? I
probably should start it.
Okay.
It was me, right?
yes.
So my son, I have a 13-year-old son, right? He's at the age where he's liking girls now, So we were in the mall and we saw two beautiful girls getting their photos took, right?
Uh-huh.
So he was like, "Dad, they're so beautiful." You remember?
Yeah.
So he's like, "Dad, they're so beautiful." I'm like, "Let's go talk to them." So we went over and I noticed Ben was like teaching somebody else how to do photography, and the pictures were like meticulous, right? Like beautiful. So I started talking to him, chopping it up. I invited him out to the studio to take some photos for artists I was working with. And from there, like literally like a month later, we got into business, just decided, hey, let's just form a company,
How long ago was that?
That was almost
2 years ago. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So
Man, so only 2 years and you're already working with clients of that caliber. That's pretty cool.
there's a little more to it. I've had a background in portrait photography. He's a recording. He's a
engineer and manager. So I was a music manager at
music
first.
manager. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
So I already built a pretty big following with my portrait photography. So that's kind of where we started with my background, his background, and then we kind of merged our two together.
Very cool. So you come from like a visual picture portrait background. He comes from a music background.
Right.
Interesting combination. You guys joining forces, and now you run a major content marketing agency in Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Do you guys still cover both photography and music, or have you guys kind of?
We do.
Yeah.
We do. We just build a team to accommodate more clients,
Right.
So what does a content marketing agency do? Let's start there. What do you guys?
First, we do content, right?
Yeah.
And the content has to be good, and everything just goes after that because social media is all about content. Like everything around us is about content. I feel like it's a content world,
It's content right now.
Yeah. Literally. So I feel like it starts with content, good content, proper people skills, and you got to be hungry.
Oh yeah.
It's all in that hunger, man. Like we were hungry. We started with like 10 grand, and the budget was depleted in the first 30 days.
Right.
Gone, like
Yeah, there's a lot of marketers out there, a lot of agencies out there. If you're gonna make it and you're gonna beat the competition, you got to be hungry. You got to be willing to grind.
We're hungrier than everybody, so
Yep. So you say content marketing agency, you guys do content. What kind of content? Are we talking music, pictures, video?
Everything. Once it's content,
one-stop shop.
Be consumed, we're on there.
Hell yeah. What does the team look like? Do you guys go on site, do the filming?
Well, sometimes we have people go on site, do the filming and whatnot, but we do all the back end work. So all the editing, all that stuff is this genius right here.
Yeah.
We do all the quality control. But I feel like I'm talking all over. You should.
No, yeah. I wanted to get more into like how it all started. I had a background working with another marketing company in Tampa, and I helped them grow just did content for them. And I was like, maybe we'll be partners someday. Kind of just wanted to work on my own portfolio and see if we can merge forces. It didn't end up working out. I ended up deciding, hey, I want to just go start my own thing. And it happened to be right at the time when I met Ricky. And we're like, okay, let's do this together. Everything's better with co-founders.
Yeah, the right ones.
Yes, the right ones for sure. And just came in at the right time, and I just split with that company, and then boom, we started right there. So I kind of had already experience working in a marketing company and growing one.
Cool.
So I kind of just used those same methods to start this one.
And it's tough to make partnerships work.
It does.
And like I said, the right one will take you exponentially where you would have been by yourself.
I agree.
The wrong one is a disaster waiting to happen. I have a co-founder. We've been in business together almost 10 years now.
Oh, wow.
We complement each other really well. There's a book called Rocket Fuel. If you haven't read it, read it. About the dynamics between two partners. So I'm wondering, what is that dynamic with you guys? How do you split the work? What is that interaction like?
So it's not only us. We have another partner as well. But
3 of you.
Yeah. Well,
equal?
2 of us
10%.
in a company actually.
Cool.
But
45, 10.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like Ben puts up with my bullshit.
It's like a marriage. It's like a marriage, honestly.
Literally,
yeah,
like,
more of a marriage than a real marriage.
Anything else.
We talk about that all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, what is a marriage if not a contract? And what is a contract if not a partnership agreement?
Right.
It is. We are stuck together.
Agreed.
Yeah. If you have two people that have the same skill sets, it doesn't work out. You have to have those complementary skill sets.
Yes.
For sure.
And in the book Rocket Fuel, which you guys are going to read,
yes,
there's visionary and integrator. The visionary is kind of the one who is the mastermind, the zoomed out vision of the company, a lot of times the leader, and then the integrator is the one kind of day to day managing, making sure that everything works properly.
Wow.
Exactly. Boom.
We need
Visionary, integrator. Right
Rocket
here.
Fuel?
Rocket
Yeah.
Fuel.
Definitely watch it. Lead it right there. Well,
Check that out.
If that resonates right there, you absolutely need to read the book.
It totally resonates. He'll have this super wide vision, and he'll give me some ideas, and I'll create something. I'm not even sure what it is yet.
Yeah.
And then 2-3 months down the line, I'm like, oh, so that's what I was doing, is this, and has such a bigger vision to it. It's amazing work partnership.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
It's cool, especially once you've got that, like, oh, that's us.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what is that dynamic? What should that look like? What should meetings look like? What should structure look like?
Right.
How did companies like Google use those things to get the most out of both people? So it's a really cool read. Definitely something that any partnership business should look into. But I do think having a good co-founder, a good partner, will skyrocket you past your competition, and probably the reason you guys have in 2 years probably dwarfed a lot of the.
A lot of times we wanted to just say, goodbye, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Oh my God, so many times.
Yeah, we had quite a few of those.
Tell me about one of those.
You go, man. You go.
There's so many times I'm just like, bye, I'm going, and then I hang up the phone, and he calls me back like 5 minutes later, and then it's kind of like toxic.
I fired my co-founder a couple of times, especially early on.
Oh, really?
Because you're starting at different points, so I feel like that's where a lot of turmoil is. So I felt like I was bringing disproportionate value. So at one point, I'm like, well, I don't even know what you're doing. Bye. Like, I'm going to go do this on my own. And that was super early on, probably 6 years ago. What was it? All right. Tell me about one of those stories, one of those times where you guys are at turmoil. Things didn't look so good. And how'd you guys resolve it?
Let's talk about when we started. We had no money. Let's talk about that.
Okay. All right. Because I can't remember anything specifically at the moment. Do you?
I always let stuff go, so I really don't.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
We're the same.
I feel like we let me see. We had different views on where we see the company going. Got into it quite a few times about it. I'm like, man, screw this. I'm tired of arguing with Ben.
It happens a lot.
Being aligned on vision. You know, one of you wants to grow to 10 million. One of you's happy. You know, we're at 2 and I'm making more money than I probably need. I'm going to go travel for 6 months. The other dude's like, nah, like I'm 50-50. I want to still work and I want to grow this thing.
Yeah.
That's definitely a point where a lot of co-founders seem to hit.
You know what happened? Or in our dynamic, is like I'm more of a spender, and Ben is like a saver.
Oh my
so
God!
I feel like this is what starts most of our arguments, right? And what do you think? What do you say?
Totally,
No, that's a good one. Yeah.
That comes up a lot. We've had times where I'm like nickel and diming, and he's like, "What we gonna do?" Yeah,
we're in growth mode.
Yeah.
Let's spend. Let's hire. Let's buy this thing.
Exactly. Yeah, that's about hiring. Yeah, I'm always like not sure about who to hire, and he's like, yeah, let's just jump in with this person, test them out.
Right.
Yeah.
It's good to have that balance though. 'Cause if it's one person and you're the saver, you're probably never going to be able to grow, to take risks, to hire the long shot.
That's a big part of the dynamic.
Right.
Is you need someone that's the spender. That's another
Maybe if he was on his own, he'd spend all the money.
Yeah. Wow, I never thought of it that way. Yeah, that's so true. And I probably wouldn't take the risks that he would have, like those first bit of ad spend on getting out there. Like you're too like reserved, and he's like, no, take that first risk.
Right.
Get your foot, get out there.
What do you think your secret's been to the 2 years growing to the point that you have today?
Never quit. Focus.
Never run out of money.
Yeah. Never run out of money. Never quit, and just stay really, really focused. Focus is key. Like we're up like 20 hours a day working on our business, even when we weren't making a penny, you know?
Hell yeah.
Still like speaking about it, speaking into existence, working hard, trying to make connections, you know, networking. We had so many no's, bro. Like so many no's, and we just kept going, like, you know?
Yeah, you got to be resilient.
Yeah.
Man, at the beginning, you do have to work 20 hours a day.
Yeah.
And especially when there's two of you, that's why you're able to grow at the speed that you do, because you're wearing so many hats.
Yep.
Until you're able to hire out those hats, it's a grind.
Yep.
So focus 100%.
Yep.
Agree with you. Anything else other than focus? 'Cause a lot of people are focused. A lot of people are hustling.
Like that's like the dynamic to just make it work.
Yeah.
I feel like you gotta have a sense of compassion and put yourself in somebody else's shoe. And you know, like with me, I'm a bit older. I'm 37. Ben is 25. Obviously, we're gonna have that gap between us.
Yeah. You look
So I
great,
look at
by
life
the way.
different. And, you know.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Good genes. No, but you know, I feel like listening to each other's opinion and then sleeping on stuff. You have to sleep on stuff sometimes. You know. Yeah, I feel like sleeping on stuff actually helps more than anything else.
Yeah.
You know, don't
like a marriage, I think
Yeah.
It is such a marriage.
Yeah, the focus on making the partnership work, making the partnership efficient, making both people happy and keeping both people hardworking and efficient is sometimes the key to rapid growth.
We both have that ability to forgive, which is huge.
Yeah.
Both of us, like, it might take a day or two, but we always come around and say, hey, I was wrong about that, and we admit our mistakes, and that's what keeps us moving forward.
You have to. And I think there's something to be in the same location. Do you guys work in the same spot, live in the same spot, or?
No.
So we literally don't even go to our office like that. We only go there for certain clients who just need the office, you know? Well, we literally work from our phones. We screen share a lot, you know?
Yeah, that was a big change for me going from the marketing company I was working with where we were at the office all the time.
Yeah.
And then when we switched from that to my own company, and Ricky has his own style of just doing everything from the phone and remotely, I was like coming to the office every day by myself, and he wasn't there. And I was like, okay, adjusting to how it should be, you know?
Right.
You know, more of a free work environment.
Yeah.
I got kind of stuck into that 9 to 5, like going to the office every day. And we're honestly so much more successful now, not trying to push to just be there for no reason.
Right.
You know, when you're out and about, more ideas come, and you're not stuck in that.
There's pros and cons.
Yeah, I'd love to hear that.
Yeah, me,
Hear
for
your
example, especially with my co-founder, our first 2 years in business, we lived together.
Oh, wow.
It was the COVID. 2020, we were founded.
Yeah.
And we were working like across from each other for 14 hours a day every day. And I think there's something to watching them work and knowing that they're working when you're working.
When it's 50-50, yeah.
Yeah, it was helpful. And there's some guilt involved there too. If I see him working, I'm like, fuck. I should be there working with him. So pros and cons. But at some point during that, I think you also become inefficient. You're just sitting there to sit there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So everything's got its pluses and minuses.
Gotcha. Is your co-founder still part of the company?
Yeah, you met him earlier, Scott.
Oh, Scott.
So we have offices right next to each other. That still very much exists. The guilt and the pressure. And I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is his? Are you the visionary? Is he the visionary?
I'm the visionary. He's the integrator. So he takes the role of CEO. Everyone reports to him. I don't like managing people. I like marketing. I like vision. I like building different arms of the company. And he likes to make things work. He deals with the legal. He deals with the accounting. He deals with the managing. And we've got a lot of people now. A lot of people come with HR problems. A lot of business comes with legal problems.
Right.
And a lot of money comes with money problems. So I'm happy to not have to deal with any of those things. Yeah, it makes coming to work a lot more fun for me. I get to do stuff like this.
Yes.
Work on partnerships, work on building new arms of the business.
Yeah. Sounds like you and Ricky have the same.
Yeah. So talk to me a little bit about the whales. We've attracted a whale or two in our day, and every entrepreneur, every owner wants to say that they work with Coca-Cola, that they work with Marriott, that they work with Lamborghini. You guys have actually been able to go and do it.
So a large part of those whales are from our other business partner. So he's in the NFL sports industry.
Cool.
And they acquire a lot of teams and stuff like that. So, we have like connections through them, and then the work speaks for itself. So we get in with content. Because Ben's content is like just superb, So that's literally her way in, and then people like her personality, and we're consistent. Like, we're calling you every day till you say yes,
You need to sometimes, especially with these big companies. There's so many gatekeepers, so big of a chain that you need to work your way up. And you got in, it sounds like, through a network, through a partner that opened up a lot of those doors. And I think
he he already had relationships with these companies from his prior.
Yeah,
So
like getting in the door with those whales is half the battle.
Yeah.
The other half is sticking it out for the long run as you work it up the chain. But the good news is, and what we've noticed with these big clients is that once you do land it and you do a good job, they're with you forever.
Yeah, and you get more and more referrals.
Yeah.
So.
What was the process like closing those clients? Like, your partner got you in the door. What is the actual day-to-day of working with them? Who do you talk to? Who's accountable? What are you accountable for? Talk to me about that.
That's Ben right there.
Well, yeah, when you do make those contacts, it's important to, establish a good relationship. The partnership isn't going to happen overnight with the big whales. You have to, they're always the bigger, the really serious people are not going to hire you in an instant. They want to feel you out. They want to see. Yes, they want to see what kind of a character you are. They might be really close to a deal and then take a step back. It's like a little, it's like a dance.
Really
and then eventually, it'll happen. Just be patient and always, it's always a good idea to maybe make 3 calls to 3 people that just pick 3 people in your contacts list and make a call to them every day. Just go out of your way, set some time aside and catch up with people. And it's crazy what just pick up the phone and connecting with people and catching up with people can do for your business.
See, Ben is like really, really good at that. Like I'm bad at like following up. I'm great at sales, but like really bad at like building those relationships.
Yeah.
Us visionaries get distracted.
Yeah.
So you can relate to that.
Family too. So most of the time, like when Ben is like, "Yo, let's go out. Like they're gonna be here. Let's go there." And socialize. I'm like, "Nah, I got family."
He's the money guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's where the partnership actually works because we have different personalities, and Ben is more outgoing, and he's
money is like never on my mind. I'm just connections and bonding with people, and he's like, "Okay, where's the money in this?" So it works out well.
Good. Yeah, you need both.
Yeah.
You definitely need both.
Mm-hmm.
So the whales. Let's hone in on that for a little bit, and I'll share some experiences that we've had as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
You get in the door. What do you think the biggest bottleneck, the biggest hurdle to overcome when closing a whale has been?
I feel like they gotta trust you. Like it's all about trust. If they don't think you're capable of delivering what you're promising, it's just not happening.
How do you make a company like Marriott trust you?
Him right there, consistent.
Yeah.
The right person. Stay consistent. Keep staying in touch. Pop up if you can, if they're accessible.
Yeah.
Just keep. It's consistent. I think one word sums it up.
My photography brand and just the history it has it always helps with building trust and just seeing the following that's been grown through that platform and the contacts I've made through that platform, the Instagram platform, and just always being connected. It's a good way to connect with people, and you never know who's actually viewing those photos when it pops up on your For You or Discovery page. The people that are actually seeing that, it's kind of crazy. Yeah. And then you get connected with people, and they've seen your work before. My work has a very distinguished style that when they see the photos before, they're like, "Oh, I've seen your work before," and it instantly builds that trust that you're talking about.
And it's not like, you've been in business together for 2 years, but you've been in content for how long?
Oh, forever. For the longest time. I started TV production in 9th grade. That was probably the first time I started, and I guess you could call that my college. 9th, 12th grade, 4 years.
Right.
Of my building my like content experience. And then when I graduated, I started, doing it for business and doing it on my own. Before I met him, I had the gig mentality.
Yeah.
And then when I went into business, we kind of scaled it more than just paycheck, kind of like, oh, let me make some, I would get very comfortable. I'd get a project, not really worried about the sales. And then, oh, I need money again. Let me go find another client.
Right. Takes a guy like Ricky to help scale the artist in a way.
The artist. Yep. Scale the artist. Exactly.
And you've built a pretty respectable following on Instagram. You've got somewhere around 200 and something followers.
That's my personal page. My photography page has 1.3.
1.3 million followers.
Right.
So that probably plays a pretty big role.
Huge role in finding those leads,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Because they're hiring you for trust, for credibility, and nothing says more credibility than a creative online with over 1 million followers.
Right.
Real quick, I don't want to go too deep on social media strategy, but as a photographer, you're competing against a lot of people on social media.
What talk all about that? Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think your secret was to amassing that huge of a following as a photographer?
Totally. I love talking about this. There's all different kinds of ways to do it. My personal way was quantity. There's some people say quality, some people say quantity. I believe in quantity, and then within that quantity there are some gold gems. If you cherry pick what you're going to release to people, the things that you cherry pick might not resonate with other people. Mm-hmm. So when you're just releasing everything, I would post 5 times a day for 2 years straight, kind of like a feature page would, but on a personal level. Yeah. So it's all my work 5 times a day, and then some stuff is going to resonate. Like this, the most popular photos I posted were never the ones I would expect. Yeah. But if I hadn't had that mentality to release everything, it would have never happened. I would have never gotten the attention on those if I had kept them to myself.
See,
he's an artist.
Yeah, managing artists. Yeah. For a good while right now. I found out that collaboration is key to growing, right, online. So you want to collaborate with people who are doing similar stuff to you. Platform placement works, and consistency. Damn, that's the word of the day. We should name this episode this year.
Yeah, the music industry, they have a completely different
formula.
Viewpoint on releasing everything. They're artists, like music artists, they take projects a lot more seriously. They need a music video tied to it. I mean, if I was a musician, I would do the same thing. I would release thousands of songs.
Right.
But I don't know.
It's a process. You got to get coded and whatnot,
Yeah, most artists seem to be...
They have huge vaults of music they don't release.
Right. They're hypercritical of their own work, and only do release the ones that they think is perfect.
Yeah.
But it's a funny marketing fallacy. We don't know what the audience is going to like, and a lot of times it's not what we think it's going to be.
Exactly. Most of the times it's not.
Getting over that insecurity is huge, and just releasing stuff.
Yeah, and leaving your ego at the door. Yeah. Especially as a marketer, myself. Yeah. I'll put together a creative ad copy, and I'll think that this one's definitely going to win. Like this landing page variation, this creative is definitely the best one. And then I'll throw it on PickFu, a website where you can crowdsource different people voting and giving their explanations why. And I'm almost always wrong.
Oh, man.
Crazy, right?
It's crazy. Yeah, it's the same thing I imagine for a creative, but being able to put it all out there 5 times a day, it's a lot of posts for a long time.
Yeah, I just saw these feature pages with millions of followers, and they're just posting all these content. I'm like, okay, how can I do that without using other people's content? Yeah. And I came up with a system. Some photographers will spend 2 hours on a photo, and I would be editing so many photos that I got my workflow down to 15 minutes, and I was able to do 5 times more output than other photographers in my industry. And you got to work 99% harder than everyone else, to be the best. So I was like, okay, if I can work harder than everyone else, or maybe I'm not even working harder than everyone else, I'm just posting more.
Yeah, consistency, volume. And I'm
everything.
sure you're a beast of a photographer too. I'm sure you can be consistent and put out volume and suck and not do well.
Exactly. You have to be volume and good.
Yeah.
That's the craziest thing. Yeah.
So I got to ask, also unrelated to the whale question, as a content agency, as a photographer, I don't know if you guys have been following developments, software, and AI. But do you guys use this in your business, and where do you see this going?
I feel like it's a future for sure. It makes stuff super easy, ChatGPT is like
right.
I've been a fanatic about AI for years, way before even anyone was worried about it or concerned about it. I've been saying it for years that it's like what the internet was in the 90s. It's people don't realize the potential of like 10 years from now how relevant it's going to be. Like, when people in the 90s saw the internet coming out, they're like, oh, I want to start an internet company. But that's such a vague thing to say. Same thing if I want to start an AI company, it's like saying I want to start an internet company. What kind? Like, there's all these different things. Yeah. So I always wanted to start like something with photo AI, but that was back when I was in college, and not as much funding as you need. A lot of funding for an AI company. But I wanted to do something like FaceApp is today. I would have loved to start something like that, but it already kind of took my idea. Right. But I use it now, and it's crazy. I can do stuff in 5 minutes now than back in the day.
As a photographer, walk me through some of the ways that you do use AI in your creative.
FaceApp is incredible. It has all these faces fed into its algorithm, and it can literally take your photo and retouch it. So when you're retouching, it's kind of like what a makeup artist does. They're contouring, they're brightening certain spots, darkening certain spots, and you're doing that digitally. It's like digital makeup. That's what retouching is. So FaceApp can detect where your cheekbones are, your nose. There's certain lines of areas where you brighten and darken. Right. And FaceApp knows those areas and does it for you in seconds, where I used to have to hand draw everything.
So it's sped up the rate at which you can edit a
Incredible.
photo?
It's seconds versus I used to do in 15 minutes. Some people took 2 hours.
Right.
it's when you're doing art, like the more time you spend on it, the better it gets. But there's a diminishing return of how much time you spend versus the difference it's going to make.
This might be a controversial one. I've talked to some people, and I believe this a little bit myself, that think photography might be dead in 5 years. Because I can type in, I want to see a picture of me, naked on a beach in Maui.
So that's what you were going with the AI and photography.
Well, that too.
Yeah.
I'd also love to know if you think that AI will ever replace photography, in which case you can just kind of type the image that you'd like to see, and AI will take pictures on a beach and this person and combine the two.
It certainly depends. Like the wedding industry, you can't say, hey, generate photos of my wedding that haven't happened yet.
Put me in a tux, have me kissing this person. Yeah,
you got to film that event still as it happens.
I feel like different aspects of the business will be dominated by AI, but there's still always going to be a demand for that personal touch. Like, I feel like that's never going nowhere,
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah. There's certain applications where, it would make it easier to get a photo of me on a tux on the beach. But
I think, like anything else in AI, it's going to make the expert that much better, that much faster. Yeah, it will probably never replace.
Yeah, it'll make things easier for everybody, for people that don't just need quick things, that they don't need to hire an expert, and then it'll speed up the expert's workflow.
What about music? I don't know if you've been following AI music. Is that something?
Oh my gosh, it's so freaky. It's so freaky.
Talk to me about AI music.
I'm super creeped out by that, right?
Yeah.
So
Drake's new single is
wild.
not
by Drake.
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
Tell me about AI music.
I didn't even know that.
I feel like people are always gonna have this thing that about the artist that they want to see a real artist. I don't think that's going anywhere, but I think you're definitely gonna have AI artists who are creating a hit songs. And I don't know. I think it's gonna change. I think it's gonna change music and the way we consume it, the way we record, all that stuff. I don't know how to explain that because I'm freaked out. I'm like, damn, I don't know where it's going yet.
AI music's not even something I thought about when people are talking about AI, and then you start hearing these things, and it's nuts.
So Spotify and most of these platforms release AI music, right?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, because think about it. If
why wouldn't they?
If you
They're
own
not
the
paying
artist,
anyone.
you know what I'm saying? It's money,
Yeah.
But I don't think it's gonna replace the artist, the actual artist.
Yeah.
I think is definitely gonna account for a lot of those.
How do you get new sound from the AI?
I don't know.
AI can be able to generate new styles.
I worry as a content creator, I'm going to get replaced by AI. There's going to be some AI avatar out there saying the same things that I would say, but people are following this avatar and not me. But I think there is some kind of deep connection that people want to other humans where they're not going to watch an AI avatar talk. They're not going to watch an AI avatar sing and act. Even though we have that capability, I don't know if it'll ever be the emotional connection that we feel to the artist, the actor.
How are new ideas formed? AI is based off of all past ideas put together.
Are there any new ideas? I don't really know. Or are they just combinations of things that we've said
That's
or
true.
heard or learned?
So maybe you're right, yeah.
I feel like you put it good. I was inarticulate and couldn't find the words to explain it, but you summed it up,
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like, that personal experience, person to person, I don't think you can replace that, man. No matter how good it gets, I don't think you're going to replace that human connection. I want to go see my favorite artist in a stadium. I'll stand in the rain to see that. I don't think I'll do that for an AI.
No, because the AI is not having a human experience. No. You go for the human experience.
So that's what it is.
You think there's no new ideas? I wanted to go back to that.
I mean, I do. We're innovating every day. Yeah. There's new scientific breakthroughs coming in, but I think AI is going to have more scientific breakthroughs than humans will. I think AI is going to be more creative than humans will, just by combining things that are already out there. I mean, there's no new words. I don't think there's new beats. It's just combinations of things that already exist. At least for 99% of things out there, I think that's true.
Yeah.
How about on a broader scope, like new buildings, new architecture, new cities? You think the AI is going to do all that as well?
I do.
Yeah.
I definitely believe in that. I see that happening. Oh yeah, I see that happening.
I think humans have already thought of 99%. I mean, I might be wrong. 95%, 90%. And by taking that 90% and mushing it together and creating new things out of it, I think we'll be shocked by what it can do. But it's funny in the early days where we are now, like what it's doing to various industries, music, art, marketing. It's very interesting to watch.
Yeah, bro. I remember watching this thing on TikTok. Basically, it was a building in China. And it was moved in 24 hours, right? A whole new location.
Wow.
AI. It's freaky what it could do, man. So freaky.
What did the building
So they had it in one location and they wanted to move it, and they literally just put it on some robotics.
Yeah.
I can't explain that, but they moved it in 24 hours. Big building, multiple stories. Like nothing like that.
All right, I want to get off AI. Let's get back to.
Yeah.
It's so interesting.
Yeah, it is.
We could do a whole separate show on that.
Right.
Maybe we'll regroup in a year and see what AI is doing. Or we'll just have our AI avatars come and do a podcast together. We'll sit up.
Yeah.
Let's talk about whales for a second. Let's get back to there. For new agency owners, new entrepreneurs who are looking at companies like you or us who have been around for a while and have already attracted some of these people. Ben, we'll go first with you, and then Ricky. What is your best piece of advice for working with some of these Goliath clients?
Sure. Well, I'm going to say for sure, if you have a big following, it's going to help you a lot. But if you don't, if you're starting from scratch, if you're just out of high school, I would say first get the skill and then find 10 people and do 10 things for free and get the testimonials. There's no better way to start anything than doing free work and getting testimonials. Always works.
I agree. It's a race to the testimonial, especially when you're starting out.
Right.
Ricky, how about you?
I feel like putting together the right team, skills that you lack, find people who are good at that, and, see where you could take it.
Cool.
Like team, they have a saying, you want to go fast, go alone. You want to go far, go together.
100%.
So.
Yeah, and you need to build that trust and authority
Yeah.
before you can attract someone like that. And in order to do that, you need to be around for a while. You need to be doing good work for a long time. So going slow, doing it correctly, I think is good advice, sound advice.
It's like me deciding, hey, I want to freaking go do a content marketing agency, and I know nothing about it. Like,
Yeah.
Ben's been doing content, so he caught me up to speed with some things, and I do sales, so I got him up to speed with certain things. And
I learned a lot of sales just being around you. Yep.
And then when we realized there's certain stuff like foundation-wise, like just structure of the business that we were lacking, we took on another partner who's experienced in that. And, so I feel like team building is a key to be successful.
And you gave this last person equity, the one who opened the door to a lot of these big clients.
His company has 10% equity in our company.
Interesting. So building a partnership might be a good move for a lot of people.
Right.
Strategic partnership with the right person, with the right network, and then utilizing that partnership correctly. Tell me a little bit about how you facilitated that partnership. Where do you find them? How did you get it to work?
This is a crazy story. Ben and our other business partner met on an app. Was it Chat Roulette?
Clubhouse.
Chat roulette.
Clubhouse. Yeah, it was like Clubhouse or something like that, right? So they met on Clubhouse, and they did some work probably like a year prior to us starting our company. Then we started a company, and he was our first client, like second client. So we had a Botox clinic first, or first client, and then after
Med
that.
spa, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so we went, did the work, and he just loved it, man. We spoke. He just hit us up. He's like, hey, I want to be your partner. Like, we don't want to sell nothing.
Right.
We don't want to sell our company. He's like, I want to be your partner. And we spoke for 3 or 4 months before we actually decided, hey, like, he's a good fit, So it was never about the money or nothing like that. It was just about what he added to it. I feel like the value that people bring is worth more than money long term.
That's something he taught me. I mean, being in business together is I always saw people more as dispensable, as bad as that is. I would be like, okay, they're bad. Let's get rid of them and get someone else. But he always taught me about the importance of loyalty and like creating a good connection with your employees and growing together with them instead of seeing such a disposable.
100%.
Yeah.
Depends on
Like
what
you
they're
said,
doing, though. Like some of them just gotta be.
Some people are disposal, especially when they turn into a cancer. They're spreading bad energy, bad vibes. You gotta cut out.
Yeah, he's so into the loyalty that there was somebody I wanted to. Sometimes there's people that you want to get rid of in the company, and I was just talking about how loyalty is so important, but at the same time, if there's something toxic, I bring it up. He's like, it took him a while. Sometimes when I've had people in the company that I wanted to get rid of, it takes him a while to realize that they're toxic because he's so loyal.
Yeah, you want to give people the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
I feel like if you want to keep a company successful, you need to have motivated employees. Employees aren't motivated when they know they're disposable.
Right.
So
that's true.
That's my thing. Like, give you 1 or 2 chances to screw up.
This is where the yin and the yang makes a big difference.
Yes.
You're both right. And there's lines for both of those things to be true.
Yeah.
You got to build loyalty. I think companies are built on amazing people, keeping them happy, keeping them motivated.
Yeah.
But at the same time, sometimes you got to be quick to let somebody go. Once you realize there's a red flag, something's going on, got to get them out of there.
I'm getting that page out of Ben's book. Like, that's something I'm learning, you know? So,
yeah. I was listening to some podcast with Barbara Corcoran, and she was explaining how she ran her company, and she always fired people on Fridays. And she used to say, hey, the second they did something negative, she's like, can I see you in my office on Friday for like a meeting? And then she would always fire them. It's so funny. You never want to be asked into Barbara Corcoran's office on a Friday.
Interesting. It's good to. I love CEO interviews because you just pick up little nuggets like that out of the interviews. You're like, maybe there's something to that. Maybe that's a good idea.
Well, hey, hence you started your own CEO interview podcast.
Yeah, it's true. Hey, some final minutes here. I would love to dig in, figure if we can get any gold out of you guys in the last few minutes.
Can I make a business pitch first before we wrap up?
Yeah, hit me with the big
plug.
All right, so where's the cameras? Hey guys.
This one's on you.
All right, so we are Szentpaly LLC, right? We are offering partnerships now. You could be a partner in our business, right? We have a wedding stores that we're selling, and literally you could use $1,500 a month to make over 6 figures every year. So reach out to us at szentpalyllc.com. The link will be somewhere, right?
Szentpaly, they're looking for partnerships. The link is going to be in the show notes, the description, whether you're watching this on YouTube, listening on any podcasting platform. Yeah, I appreciate it. And definitely hit them up. And these guys are both killers on social media.
Yep.
So they'll come and follow you guys for sure.
Yep, for sure.
All right, final pieces of advice. As entrepreneurs, something that you've learned that's impacted you that you'd like to share with our listenership.
I feel like the key to being successful with anything you're doing is just never to quit, because quitters don't win and winners don't quit. It's like that simple. You got to stay motivated. You can't don't tell everybody what you're planning on doing. Just do it, you know, because a lot of people will try to tell you not to. Because I remember when I decided to do the company with Ben, I was speaking to my dad, who was a successful entrepreneur, and he was like, yeah, don't do no partnerships. Just do it by yourself, you know? And I'm happy. I love you, Dad, if you're listening to this, but I'm happy I never listened to that, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like stay true to yourself. Don't sell yourself short, and don't quit.
Right.
Yeah.
That's good advice. And honestly, if I was talking to an entrepreneur and he's like, I'm thinking about this partnership with this guy, I would say the same thing your dad said.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he doesn't know.
No.
He's not in your day to day. He doesn't know Ben.
Yeah.
There's a lot of factors there. So I'm glad you shared that. Thank you.
Yeah, I want to piggyback off of that. I love my parents. They're great people, but sometimes you got to pave your own path, create your own advice, because I think advice is honestly just like a passive aggressive way of giving your own experience, but it's based off of your own experience. Advice is just dispensing your own experience on other people. So advice isn't always going to be the best. It's just going to be their experiences bottled up and regurgitated to you.
100%. And that's why you definitely don't want to listen to people who are less successful from you,
Right.
not where you want to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listening to a success.
Firm believer in that.
Yeah.
Firm believer in that.
100%.
You know?
Yeah. So make sure you're taking advice from the right people.
How about one piece of advice? Sorry to keep digging into you, but for growing social media for a photographer.
Yes, that is actually a big part of our partnership. Is I help photographers grow their businesses.
How?
So, how? Well, it depends on what you want to do. Do you want to do B2B or do you want to do B2C? B2B would be with companies. B2C would be primarily weddings. That's where you're going to get the most content creation for a consumer-based client. So that's where consumers need content the most, is in weddings. So if you want to be successful as a photographer, I would shoot for the wedding industry. If you want to work with people, if you want to work with businesses,
shoot for a partnership with us.
Yes, of course, because we're definitely gonna. I mean, we have our systems now. We have our contracts. We have our payment systems. We have everything you need to get started with working in the wedding industry as a photographer. We can basically hold your hand. You don't have to take any of those risks that people do when they get started. I mean, as a solopreneur, if you're on your own, you're a photographer and you want to get started, it's very hard to do stuff on your own. Like you said, we stress this a lot in our podcast, is that you need someone to help you get through things that from a different perspective. And that's what we kind of play for photographers. We play that role.
Cool. I appreciate you both being here today. Where can people connect with you other than the Szentpaly Instagram and website, which I'm linking in the show notes? How about personally? Where's the best place to connect with you two?
Connect with me, RICKYBRIXX, Ricky Bricks. You can connect with me there on Instagram.
Check out his amazing music as well.
Oh yeah, do a little bit of music. So you could Ricky Bricks everywhere, all platforms. Ricky Bricks.
He's coming out with some amazing music lately. He's having this reawakening of inspiration, and I'm just here for it. We're making some amazing music videos for all his new music.
Yeah, send us a song. We'll score the episode with it.
That would be great. Yeah. So yeah, we used to shoot a lot of music videos when we first started the company. Now I only really make music videos with him.
Yeah.
So
well, we have a few clients that we still work
occasionally
with.
some people reach out.
Yeah.
So that Ricky Bricks. My personal Instagram is BSZENT. If you want to follow the photography, it's BSZ Photo.
Cool. Well, I appreciate you guys coming on the show. This was a blast.
Thanks for having us.
Yes.
Thanks for having us.